Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Happy Thursday, and we have finally come to the end of the month of October. We just have one more day to go in the trading month, and then we are going to be done with the month of October trading. And finally, all the major catalysts that we had for the week is already done. President Trump finished his meeting with President Xi. We also got Meta earnings, we got Alphabet earnings, we got Amazon and Apple. So tomorrow is going to be the last trading day of the month. I hope you had a very profitable month and you had a great month trading. So without much ado, so my name is Richard Adjei, and I'm the head trader. I'm the head trader here and co-founder at tradingrich.com. And I'll get started with what is coming next for the market. Where is the market going, right? Are we going to continue seeing a sell-off in the market, or are we going to get a recovery? So this video is to show you where price is heading, and I'll also seize the opportunity to also show you guys where price is heading for the major mega tech stocks that just reported their earnings. So without much ado, I'll go straight to the chart and we get started here right away. All right, so the first chart I have here is the chart of the SPY. So the SPY is the ETF that tracks the S&P 500. Okay, so here if I go to the weekly time frame, in the weekly time frame I can see here we have a parallel channel, right? And in this parallel channel we can clearly see that we have the lows of 2020, lows of 2022 bear market, 2023 October lows, and then Liberation Day tariff Trump sell-off lows. Okay, if you extend that, it forms a parallel channel that comes to the 2021 bull market highs, and then once you extend it, we come here to the highs of October. Then again, we have a trend line that connects from October 2023 lows, connect to this low here, August 24th, 2024. And then once you extend it, it touches January 2025. And then we extend it, it goes to the top here. So we have a two-factor trend line, right? And it's called X marks the spot or bow tie, right? So we have the bow tie trend line. So we have one trend line, this yellow one, and the orange one are intersecting here. So this week we saw SPY break out of this 5-year trend line. So if you look at this, this is a parallel channel that dates back from 2020. So it's a 5-year trend line. This is COVID lows, which is March 2020. So this is more than 5-year-old. And in order to break a 5-year-old trend line, or a trend line that is many years old, I call those type of trend lines the mother of all trend lines. Okay, and these trend lines are difficult to break. So this week we saw that SPY was able to break above it. However, it did not confirm. So this is your weekly candle here. The weekly candle has not closed yet. We have one more trading day tomorrow. If we come in and we close above this parallel channel highs and this trend line, then we might get ability to push up. Let's go to the daily chart and show you what's going on. So over here on the daily chart, we saw that we broke out above this like a blow off top, and then what do? We came back, retracing to the scene of the crime. And now we are below the yellow trend line, which was acting as support. So tomorrow we are going to see if price is able to reclaim this area and go back. Let me put my moving averages to show you what's going on there. So here, if you look at the moving averages, SPY is trading above the 9 exponential moving average, right? So what SPY needs to do is that SPY needs to find a way to reverse, right? Reverse from this moving average 9. If it can hold it, it can push, but this trend line is going to act as a resistance. So initially when it was trading here, it was acting as support. Now it's going to act as resistance. So we are going to see if price is able to remount that and break out. It's going to be difficult. right? So the market needs some good news story. Maybe the government shutdown will be resolved sometime tomorrow or maybe next week. That's what's going to push it up. But otherwise, I don't see any catalyst coming up for the market that is going to send it up for now. So for now, we have to see how the bulls are able to navigate this area. If they're able to hold it and reverse, then we are going to push up and try to break to the upside. So for now, what I'll say is that based on how things looks like, it looks like if the bulls are able to hold the 9 EMA and push, then they are going to regain control. But if they lose steam in the 9 EMA, we're coming down here to fill this gap to 671. When we go to the monthly time frame, check out the monthly time frame here. So monthly time frame on SPY, we see something really interesting happening here in the monthly time frame. So here we have the red candle here from Liberation Day lows, that is April. So since then, we've had green months so far, right? So if you're somebody that bought here, everything here was green streak, right? So you've had a green streak. So 1 month, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are we going to make it another green month in the month of November? We shall see how that plays out, right? That can only happen if we're able to break out above this trend line intersection region, right? When this yellow line and orange line meets, that area, if we're able to trade above it, then we can get another green month. But otherwise, we might be trading here and we can trade below here, and maybe perhaps we might get our first red month. If we get our first red month in November, then we should know that maybe the rally has come to an end. The rally has come to an end. We shall see what happens in the days and weeks ahead here. But for now, I'm projecting, I think we are going to, once the government shutdown is resolved and we start getting economic data, if it's good and things are good, then we can get one more month of green. Then I believe that one more month of green, we head into December, we close the year on a high note. Then in 2026, that's where we can start getting that massive sell-off to the downside and decline in the market, right? So I believe that the US economy is going to go into a recession sometime next year. And once that happens, it's going to cause the decline in the stock market. And that's going to bring the bull market to an end. So I'm anticipating the bull market to end sometime next year. But for now, I believe that we are going to head higher. We still have one more push to go into the bullish month of November, and then the festive season into Santa Claus rally to close the year on a high note. So that's why I think we are going to go from here. Okay. Right. So now where do I see? So now that we've checked SPY, let's look at the QQQ, right? The Nasdaq heavy, that's the tech heavy QQQ. Let's look at the QQQ, right? So with the QQQ, what I see here is that we have this. If you go to the weekly time frame, I'm going to be looking closely at this topping tail candle, right? So topping tail candles usually tell a story. So as a technical analysis trader, what I say is that, so this is my high of the topping tail candle. This is the weekly time frame. And this is the low. Okay, let me mark the low. And this is the low. Okay, this one, the bottom. Whoops. Let me take this off. So we have the low here. If price is able to come and break below this, we are going to do what? We are going to fill this gap on the weekly time frame here. 623, right? So right now, what I'm looking at is that I'm going to see if price is able to regain strength and go and break above this level. If we don't break above these highs, then the momentum favors the best to the downside, right? As long as they're able to break these lows. If they break below these lows, then we are heading down, right? So for me as a trader, I'm going to be watching this topping tail candle closely, right? This topping tail candle tells a story. And then when you get a topping tail candle in an extended or wide state, it's usually a bearish sign, right? A bearish sign. Very soon, I'm going to show you the chart of NVIDIA and how I shorted NVIDIA using that same strategy. So here, based on this top and tail candle on the weekly, I am leaning bearish on the QQQ until such a time that we get another candle, another weekly candle that closes above the red line. If it does that, then it means that momentum has changed. But if momentum does not change to do that, then we are going to go down and stop. So here, it is not confirmed yet. It's going to be confirmed if we trade below 626. If we trade below 626, then bingo, we know that we are heading down and we are going to get a pull, right? So that pullback, we can pull back to the 9-week exponential moving average, or even further to the 20. We shall see how that plays out. Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm looking at for the QQQ mainly. I'm going to be looking at watching this weekly top and tail candle like a hawk and watching it to see what happens to it, to see if we're able to break above it or we break below it and then head down. So right now it's advantage bears until proven otherwise, right? Advantage bears or proven otherwise. The bulls still have control because this is still in a counter trend and the bulls need to get their job done, do a good job by clearing these highs. If they clear these highs, then they are heading up to the next level. Okay. So for now, just write it down that we are not going to make any new highs in the NASDAQ or the QQQ until we clear 638.19. That's it, right? Okay. So now that we know this for the QQQ, let's look at the VIX, right? The VIX is a volatility index that tracks the S&P 500. And on Tuesday's video, I talked about the VIX, the importance of the VIX. And I talked about the fact that the VIX was trading at complacency levels around 16. We tried to push today, but we couldn't get quite far. So we still have time, right, for this to push. If this pushes and breaks above the 9 EMA here and pushes here, we are going to be getting towards the $20 mark. If this comes to the $20 mark, that means that SPY is going to sell. So volatility index, how it works is that as it rallies, it measures volatility. As it rallies, the stock market sells, and SPY specifically, the S&P 500 sells. Okay, so I'm going to be watching to see if this can get a breakout. If it gets a breakout to like here or here, then it means that we are going to get the sell in the market. So I'm going to be watching this closely. And then over here, let's see. Oh, this is interesting. So over here we have this trend line here. Oh, whoa. I didn't even know that. Look at that, guys. From here to here. This is very interesting. So here we are connecting these highs to here. We are getting exactly the attaching, right? So this is the highs of May 2025. This is the highs of August 1st, 2025, and then it's coming here. So if the VIX is able to break out above this and put in like a green candle of this sort somewhere here, then we are going to get a major sell-off in the market, right? So if this breaks out and cracks this downsloping trend line, then it's off to the races. It's going to take off, and that is going to cause the SPY to sell. So if you go to the SPY, this is the SPY. That will cause the SPY to come down and possibly fill this gap. No, first it has to fill this gap first. This is your first gap fill. The next area will be here. That coincides with this gap. Once it's here, it might as well just get the job done once and for all and fill this gap. So those are the areas. So I will not be surprised to see the SPY at 671. And then most importantly, I'm also going to look at this area. So the SPY has always held, like throughout this year here, since April, it has always held the 9-week exponential moving average. It has always held it. Anytime it came down, look at this, it bounced, right? It came here, it bounced. came here, it bounced, came here, it bounced as well. So if at any point in time we break below this teal blue line or cyan colored line, then you know that we are getting a regime change, a change in market structure. We are going to head further down to this area. Then from there, we'll take it from there. Okay, so that's for the VIX and then the SPY relation. Next one that I'm going to look at is I'm going to look at the mega tech stocks. Why? The ones that reported recently, to see where price is going, because the mega tech stocks are the ones that control this market. Without the mega tech stocks, there is no bull market, right? The mega tech stock and the AI trade is what has been carrying this market on their broad shoulders all this while. So let's check the chart of Meta Platforms. So Meta Platforms reported earnings, and the earnings were good, right? So it says that Meta dropped after hours because despite the strong revenue growth of 26% year over year, it reported an EPS of just approximately 1.08. That's earnings per share, which is well below the expectations from Wall Street. And also due to a one-time 16 billion tax hit that they had, right? And this has also resulted in they've also engaged themselves in heavy investments into AI infrastructure. So that is driving future expenses up, and that's causing. So because of that, it caused the stock to sell. So anybody that has been trading in the market since in 2021, remember that Facebook, the name of the company initially was Facebook, and they changed it to Meta because they were into a project called the Metaverse, right? The Metaverse is things to do with the virtual world. So Facebook at the time spent a lot of money into Metaverse infrastructure and all that stuff, and that caused Facebook to sell off significantly. So if you look at Facebook here, you see over here in 2021, it sold off due to the Metaverse investments. It caused it to crash by 71%. That also included the bear market as well. So every single time they reported earnings, it was a miss, overspending, and it kept on selling. So it went from $387 to all the way to 85. The question is the AI infrastructure investment going to be like Metaverse 2.0 for Meta? Because we've seen this movie before, right? So we shall see how it works out in the coming earnings reports in the future. But for now, they are signaling that they are investing a lot into the Metaverse, and that's costing them a lot, and it's affecting their bottom line, and it's affecting their profits. And once you start doing that, Wall Street would not forgive you for that. They are going to punish you for doing that, right? So that's why we saw this selling off. Okay, so in terms of how far this can go, if the sell-off continues, it might come all the way here to 5 something. This is a megaphone pattern. This is a broadening pattern, and over here you see what looks like a head and shoulders, right? This is your left shoulder. This is your right shoulder. This is your head. And then that is sending this to the downside. Okay, let's look at the daily chart. If you look at the daily chart here, you see that it tried to hold the 200 today, but it couldn't. Right? Try to hold the 200 today, but it couldn't. So we shall see how it plays out if it's able to hold the 200. So with this, where is price heading? So I'm marking these two levels, and I'm also marking the 200 SMA. Okay, if it's unable to remount the 200 SMA, then the bears are going to try to push it down to 650 again, and then it's going to head down. And if it heads down, the next area is going to be here. This gap fill. This gap fill is going to come all the way here to 607-ish, right? That's where it has to go. Okay, so that's where I see price coming. if the sell-off continues. But if we get a reversal, then we'll go back to we'll try to make a run to the upside to maybe 725-ish, and then from there you can push up from there. Okay, so that's how I see Meta going, where it's going next. And the next one is, let's look at Amazon. Let's look at the other one that reported as well on the same day, Microsoft. So what was the issue with Microsoft? Why did Microsoft sell? So the reason why Microsoft sold off was that, put this here. So the reason why Microsoft sold off was that after it reported earnings, and despite the fact that the revenue was strong, they produced strong revenue, and then they produced strong revenue and then cloud computing growth. It was revealed that the huge upfront AI infrastructure and capital expenditures was like 35 billion in this quarter. And their guidance showed that there's also going to be elevated spending going forward, raising concerns from investors about margins. So investors always think about profit margins and long-term return. That's what investors are looking at. Because if I'm investing money into a business, I want to see whether that business is going to give me profit right now. I need some profit now, right? How long is it going to take for me to get my money back or get some return on investment? So that is why it caused Microsoft to sell, even though they reported strong earnings and growth in their cloud business. Okay, so with Microsoft, what am I looking at? Microsoft, we have this trend line here that dates back to 2021 highs. You connect it to a high, the all-time highs, you get this, right? So far, I see, if you go to the weekly time frame, we can clearly see a double top, one top, two top. So here, this double top has not been confirmed yet. What I need is that I need another weekly candle to close below here, 521. If I get a weekly candle that closes below 521, then we shall head down. So you have something like this. It could be any size candle, something like this. If it closes below here, then it means that we are going to head down, right? Go down further. Okay. So that's how I see Microsoft working out. So as long as we don't crack above this, then we are going to head down. Okay. So I'm going to look to set up a position on this, like maybe put out a short. If once I get the confirmation, I need a confirmation to the downside. Once you come to the daily, this is what we see here. So on the daily, we need to break below the 20 SMA. If we do so, we are going to head down to the 50 and to the 100. So we shall see how this double top plays out. Next one is Amazon reported today, and they beat. They had solid earnings, and it beat, right? It beat Wall Street's expectation. Everybody was happy, and it beat. So tomorrow, I'm going to be watching to see how Amazon navigates this trend line. So this trend line is from 2020. Oh my goodness, this is a mother of all trend lines. It's like a 5-year trend line. So you don't break a 5-year trend line with just a push. You need to push higher. So what I'm watching is that if we can crack above this, like tomorrow we get a gap up, the candle opens above here, then the job is done. Then we look for a retest and then we can ride it up. But if the candle is opening here, then it's going to struggle to push up here. It's going to struggle to push up. Then we can get like a candle that looks like this. We get a sell, the top wick, and then we get something like going down. So we shall see how it plays out. So the game plan is that above this trend line, we are going to look to go long, right? So I'm going to look to day trade this above this trend line. I'll go long. Below this trend line, I'm going to look to short Amazon, right? Amazon to the downside, and I will look to see if I can get it to come somewhere. Let's see here, maybe this highs somewhere here will be the next place where a target. That was going to be a potential target for me, right? Like with the pullback. So we get a pullback like this. So this is going to be what I call retrace to the scene of the crime, right? So price went up, it broke out from here. This was the all-time high. So you need to come and retest this all-time high to prove strength. Then if it's strong, then boom, it takes off and go. Okay, so that's what Amazon I'm looking for. Okay, so next one is Apple. Apple, right? So with Apple, what I'm looking at here is that Apple is, so we have multiple trend lines. So this here is from 2018. If you extend it, it hits the 2020 highs before the COVID crash. And then we have the 2021. This is the bull market highs, the COVID bull market highs. And once you extend it, this is where we come to. So if Apple were to break out from here, and then once you connect this one, this 2021 highs to the highs in 2024, you get a connection here, right? So you get one touch, two touch, three touch. If Apple is able to break out above this, like a gap up or breakout, that kind of thing, then we are going to push. And then the next area where I'm going to look to short it is going to be here, right? So if you go long, you are going to go long, and then your target should be the top of this trend line, right? If we're able to gap up and break above this 2021 trend line. However, if tomorrow we fail to break above this, then I'm going to look to position myself short and short this to the downside. Okay, short Apple to the downside. So that's the game plan. So similar to Amazon, this is the highs, all-time highs. So I'll look for a retrace to the scene of the crime kind of trade, break and retest. This is the breakout zone. And then we can test here, and then we can get a boom. Then we go, right? Then we break it and take off. Then here is the place where the party will come to an end. So this can take Apple to somewhere here if the rally continues to 342-ish, or let's round it up to a higher number, 350, a round number. Okay, so yeah, so that's about it for this video here, guys. I hope you guys learned something. Please put your comments in the chat and let me know what you learned from this, so that I can help us continue doing this video. And also, if you've not subscribed to the channel, we see that based on our data analysis at the back end, we realize that more than 50% of the people that watch our videos are not subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, please do, so that you can support the channel. And also, please share this video with your friends and family that are interested in learning about the stock market. So at Trading Rich, what we focus on is that we focus on data, the charts, technical analysis is what is our guide. It's what we use as a guide when we are trading. And we also use fundamental analysis as well. So we follow the charts. We don't follow the mainstream media narratives on news and all that stuff. News is great, but we don't use that as our basis, your only basis for trading. We rely a lot on technicals because it gives us 80% probability, puts the probability in our favor 80% of the time. Okay, so thank you for watching the video. Please share this video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night. Bye for now.